Let me ask you something that most people never stop to think about. You wake up one morning, check your bank balance, and feel good. There's money sitting there, a nice, comfortable number. You feel safe. But here's the brutal truth no one tells you. That feeling of safety, it's an illusion. Because while your money sits quietly in that bank account, something invisible is eating it alive. And the bank, they're not losing sleep over it. In fact, they're counting on you not knowing. Today, we're going to change that. I'm going to show you 6 assets that are not only better than keeping cash in the bank, they're actually safer for your long-term financial health. Stick around, because number 4 is the one most people completely overlook, and it could be the most powerful of all. Before we get into the assets, you need to understand why cash is quietly working against you. Here's how it works. Inflation, the rising cost of goods and services, eats away at your purchasing power every single year. If inflation runs at even 4% annually, money sitting in a standard savings account earning 0.5% interest is losing real value. You're not standing still, you're going backward. Think about it this way. 10 years ago, $10,000 felt like solid money. Today, that same $10,000 buys you significantly less. The number on your screen didn't change, but what that number means absolutely did. And then there's the banking system itself. Banks are legally allowed to lend out up to 90% of the deposits you put in. That's called fractional reserve banking. Your money isn't just sitting in a vault, it's out in the world, working for the bank, not for you. So the question isn't whether you should have some cash. You absolutely should, for emergencies. The question is, how much should be sitting idle, and what should you be doing with the rest? Let's get into it. The first asset is one of the oldest and most trusted in the world: government-backed securities, like U.S. Treasury bonds or similar instruments in your country. Here's what makes them powerful. They're backed by the government, which means the risk of default is essentially zero. And unlike a savings account, they offer a fixed, predictable return, often significantly higher than what your bank will ever offer. Short-term treasury bills, for example, have recently offered yields well above 4 to 5%. Compare that to most savings accounts, and the difference is night and day. And the best part? They're incredibly accessible. You can buy them directly through government platforms. In the US, that's treasurydirect.gov, with as little as $100. If safety is your number one priority, but you still want your money to do something, government securities are your starting point. Now I know what you're thinking. Real estate? I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars lying around. Stay with me. Real estate has historically been one of the most reliable wealth-building tools in human history. Property tends to appreciate over time. It generates rental income, and it acts as a natural hedge against inflation, because as prices rise, so does the value of physical assets. But here's where it gets interesting for regular people. You don't need to buy an entire building. REITs, or real estate investment trusts, allow you to invest in real estate for the price of a single stock. You get the income, the appreciation exposure, and the inflation protection without becoming a landlord. For those who can invest in physical property, even a small rental unit can generate monthly cash flow that turns your one-time investment into a long-term income stream. Cash sitting in a bank account doesn't do that. Real estate can. This one has made more ordinary people wealthy than almost anything else over the last 50 years, and it's shockingly simple. An index fund is a collection of stocks that mirrors a market index, like the S&P 500. Instead of betting on one company, you're investing in the collective performance of the top companies in an economy. Historically, the S&P 500 has returned an average of roughly 10% annually over the long term. Yes, it goes up and down in the short term, but over a 10, 15, or 20-year horizon, the data is remarkably consistent. The legendary investor Warren Buffett has said publicly that for most people, a low-cost index fund is the single smartest investment they can make. When one of the greatest investors of all time gives that advice, it's worth listening to. You can start with as little as $50 per month. That's less than a dinner out. The key isn't timing the market, it's time in the market. Cash loses value slowly. Index funds, over time, tend to build it. Here it is, number 4, the one most people ignore. Gold has been a store of value for over 5,000 years. Every time a currency has collapsed, and throughout history many have, gold has survived. It doesn't corrode, it doesn't disappear, and no government can print more of it. During times of economic uncertainty, inflation spikes, or currency devaluation, gold tends to rise in value precisely because people lose faith in paper money. It's the ultimate financial insurance policy. You don't have to buy gold bars. You can invest in gold ETFs.
gold mining stocks, or even buy small physical coins as a starter position. Financial advisors often recommend holding 5 to 15% of your portfolio in precious metals as a hedge, not as your entire strategy, but as a protective layer. If the economy sneezes, your bank account catches a cold, but gold tends to get stronger. Okay, I hear you. Maybe you're not ready to invest in stocks or property yet. Maybe you just want something better than a regular savings account with low risk. Fair enough. This one's for you. High-yield savings accounts offered by online banks and financial institutions can offer interest rates 10 to 20 times higher than a traditional bank account. The money is still liquid, meaning you can access it, but it's actually working while it sits there. Similarly, money market funds invest in short-term, low-risk instruments and typically offer returns that outpace standard savings. They're not as flashy as stocks, but they're stable, accessible, and far smarter than letting cash sit idle. This is the bridge asset, the step between doing nothing and doing something. If you're building an emergency fund or saving for a short-term goal, this is where that money belongs. Not in a basic checking account, not under the mattress, here. This last one doesn't show up on any brokerage platform, but it might be the highest returning investment of your entire life. Your skills, your knowledge, your earning potential. These are assets, and unlike stocks, they can't crash overnight. No bank can freeze them. No inflation can erode them. Think about it. A $500 course that helps you earn an extra $1,000 per month is a 200x return. A book that gives you a framework for negotiating a higher salary could be worth tens of thousands of dollars over your career. The wealthy don't just store money in assets, they become assets themselves. They build skills that the market will always pay for. Financial education, communication, sales, technology, language, these are compounding investments. Every year you build on them, your value grows. The cash in your bank account has a ceiling. Your potential doesn't. So let's bring it all together. Keeping all your cash in the bank feels safe, but it's one of the quietest financial mistakes you can make. Inflation erodes it. Low interest rates punish it, and the system's designed to benefit everyone except the person who just lets money sit. The 6 assets we covered today, government securities, real estate, index funds, gold, high-yield accounts, and self-investment, each solve a different part of that problem. You don't have to do all 6 tomorrow. Start with one, learn it, get comfortable, then build. Financial security isn't about having the most money. It's about making sure the money you have is working as hard as you are. If this video gave you even one idea worth acting on, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow.